My name is Elena Vargas. I am 28 years old and until recently I worked as an executive assistant at Grupo Castillo. Or at least that is what everyone including my husband Sebastian believed. The truth is far more complicated. My real surname is Castillo and Don Javier Castillo, the CEO of the company, is my father. But I chose to keep my mother's surname and start from the bottom so no one would know my true identity. Elena, my father, had told me 5 years ago, if you really want to join the company you need to understand how it works from its very foundations. I accepted the challenge. I graduated with honors in business administration but began as an executive assistant using my mother's surname to avoid any favoritism. It was during my second year at the company when I met Sebastian Torres. He was an ambitious and charismatic sales executive. We fell in love quickly, or at least I thought we did. You were different from the other girls in the office, he told me one night after our first date. You have class even if you were just an assistant. I should have noticed the red flag in that but I was too in love to see the warning signs. We got married after 1 year of dating. My father, who kept a professional distance in the office, was not entirely convinced. Are you sure about this, Elena? He asked. There is something about him that does not convince me. Dad, Sebastian loves me for who I am, not for what I have. He does not even know that you are my father. That is precisely my point, he replied, but he respected my decision. The first 2 years of marriage were good, or at least they seemed so. We lived in a modest apartment in line with our supposed combined incomes. Sebastian frequently complained that we should be able to afford something better given his position in the company. I do not understand why the old man Castillo has not promoted me yet, he would complain. I am the best salesperson they have. Everything changed when Sofia Vega joined the company as marketing director. She was the heiress of a wealthy family and never missed an opportunity to remind everyone of it. At first I noticed nothing strange. Sebastian mentioned they were working on projects together, staying late at the office. But then the signs began. Text messages at late hours of the night, calls that ended abruptly when I entered the room, different perfume on his shirts. You are imagining things, he would say when I asked. Sofia and I are just colleagues. But one afternoon while I was organizing some documents in the conference room I heard them. When are you going to leave that assistant? The voice of Sofia was unmistakable. You deserve something better, someone of your level. Soon, darling, Sebastian replied. I just need to handle this delicately. I do not want drama in the office. I froze. My world was collapsing, but something inside me hardened. 5 years of lying about my identity had taught me to keep my composure. That night when I arrived home, Sebastian was waiting for me. He had an expression I had never seen before. We need to talk, he said dryly. About what? About Sofia. His face showed surprise for a moment, but he recovered quickly. Yes, about Sofia. Look, Elena, this is not working. You and I are from different worlds. Different worlds, my voice was calm, too calm. Yes, Sofia can offer me opportunities that you never could. She has connections, money, status, and our marriage, our vows. Let us be realistic, Elena. You are an executive assistant. I need someone who can help me grow in my career. At that moment the door opened. Sofia entered as if she owned the place. Did you already tell her? She asked with a smug smile. Sofia is offering me a position in her family company, Sebastian continued. An executive position with a salary 3 times higher than the current one. I see, I replied, keeping my voice controlled. Get out of my house, Sebastian shouted, losing patience at my calm. Sofia is a millionaire and she can give me the life I deserve. Sofia smiled with contempt. You should thank us for being honest with you. Though to be honest, I always knew you were not enough for Sebastian. It was then that something inside me clicked. 5 years of lies, of starting from the bottom, of proving my worth, everything had led to this moment. I took out my phone and dialed a number I rarely used at the office. Dad, yes, it is me. Do you remember you wanted to meet your son-in-law better? How about tomorrow in your office? The color left Sebastian's face. Dad, what are you talking about? I turned to him with a serene smile. Oh, I did not mention it. Don Javier Castillo, the CEO of the company, is my father. I suppose now we really are from different worlds, right? Sofia staggered backward. No, that is not possible. The meeting tomorrow at 9 in the morning. Does that work for you, Dad? Perfect. Sebastian and Sofia will be delighted to attend. The next morning I arrived early to the office. Everything seemed normal except it was not. The employees whispered when I passed. I simply smiled. But I am still the same Elena. Why work as an assistant? Because I wanted to learn the business from the bottom. As my father always says, you cannot lead what you do not understand. At 8:55, Sebastian and Sofia arrived at the executive floor. Sebastian looked pale with dark circles under his eyes. Sofia, on the other hand, maintained her haughty pose, though I could see the tremor in her hands. "Good morning," I greeted them from my desk. "Mr. Castillo is waiting for you." "Elena, please," Sebastian approached, whispering. "Can we talk about this? There must be some way." "Some way to what, Sebastian?" "To explain why you were cheating on the CEO's daughter. Or to justify the derogatory comments about a simple assistant." Sofia stepped forward. "Look, Elena, we all make mistakes. Let us be professional about this." "Oh, Sofia," I smiled. "I assure you this will be very professional." The doors to the main office opened. My father stood there, imposing as always in his grey suit. "Good morning," his voice echoed in the hallway. "Please come in." Once inside, the silence was deafening. My father sat behind his desk observing them. So he began. "Finally, I formally meet my son-in-law and his friend." "Mr. Castillo," Sebastian stammered. "I can explain." "Explain what exactly? How you have been deceiving my daughter? Or perhaps you want to explain the emails I found?" Sofia paled. My father took out a folder. "Very interesting emails where you discuss how to use confidential company information for the benefit of the Vega family company." That is a lie," Sofia protested. "Is it?" My father pressed a button on his phone. "Sandra, please send in the legal team." 3 lawyers entered the office, each with folders full of documents. "We found evidence of leaking confidential information," explained one of them. "Market strategies, client data, financial projections, everything sent to external email addresses." Sebastian collapsed into his chair. "I was just trying to secure my future." "Your future?" My voice made him jump. "And what about our future together, about the vows we made?" "Elena," my father intervened gently. "Do you want to proceed with the charges?" I took a moment to look at Sebastian, the man I had loved. The man who had chosen money and status over our marriage. "Yes," I replied firmly. "Proceed with the charges." "You cannot do this," Sofia shouted. "My family has influence." "Influence?" My father laughed dryly. "Miss Vega, your family is on the brink of bankruptcy. Why do you think they were so desperate to obtain our information?" Sofia was left speechless. "Both of you are fired effective immediately," my father continued. "Security will escort you to collect your belongings, and we will await notification from your lawyers regarding the charges for corporate espionage." "Elena, please." Sebastian knelt in front of me. "I love you, we can fix this." I looked at him with pity. "You know what is the saddest part, Sebastian? That I loved you so much I was willing to keep my identity secret. To live a modest life, all to prove that you loved me for who I was, not for what I had." "And you failed," he whispered. "Yes, you failed, and not only as a husband but as a human being." Security arrived to escort him out. As they left, Sofia turned one last time. "All this why? To prove a point." "Not just a point, Sofia. To show that a person's character is not measured by their title or their bank account." Something that clearly neither of you understood. When the door closed behind them, my father approached and hugged me. "I am sorry, little one, I should have warned you better about him." "No, Dad, I needed to learn this lesson by myself." I sat in one of the chairs, feeling the weight of everything that had happened. "What happens now?" I asked. My father smiled. "Well, 5 years have passed. I think it is time for you to take your true place in the company." "Are you sure?" "More than ever. You have proven not only your capability but your integrity, and that Elena is worth more than any title or surname." I looked out the office window toward the city that stretched beyond. My life was about to change dramatically, but this time it would be on my own terms. The following months were a whirlwind of changes. The news of my true identity spread quickly throughout the company, and with it came the inevitable reactions. Some employees, especially those who had always treated me with respect, remained the same. Others who had looked down on me for being just an assistant now desperately tried to ingratiate themselves with me. One day Lucia stopped me. "Elena, I want you to know that I always saw your potential." "Really?" I replied with a serene smile. "Because I clearly remember when you said that assistants should know their place." My new office was on the executive floor, but I frequently found myself visiting the different departments, especially the assistants area where I had worked for years. One morning, while reviewing some documents, Maria entered my office hurriedly. "Elena, you have to see this," she said, showing me her tablet. It was an article in a business blog. "Scandal at Grupo Castillo. Heiress of the Vega family arrested for corporate espionage. The police arrested Sofia Vega this morning," Maria explained. Apparently, she not only leaked information from our company but from 5 other companies where she had worked before. And Sebastian pleaded guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence. He is cooperating with the authorities. I leaned back in my chair processing the information. I felt no joy at their downfall, only a deep sense of closure. That afternoon I received a letter in my office. It was from Sebastian, sent from the detention center. Dear Elena, I know I do not deserve your time, but I need you to know something. Everything I did out of greed and ambition. When I met you, I really fell in love with you, with your kindness, your intelligence, your strength. But I let ambition blind me. Sofia promised me wealth, connections, everything I thought I wanted. But in the process I lost the only truly valuable thing I had, your love and trust. I do not expect your forgiveness, I just wanted you to know that my greatest regret is not having lost my career or my freedom, but having lost you. Sebastian. I kept the letter in my desk without answering it. Some apologies come too late. 1 year after that fateful day, the company had undergone significant changes under my leadership. I implemented a professional development program that allowed employees at all levels to grow within the company. The message was clear: a person's value is not measured by their initial title but by their ability and work ethic. At the company Christmas party, my father stepped up to the podium to make an announcement. As many of you know, I have led this company for 30 years. It has been an incredible journey, but it is time to make way for the next generation. I am pleased to announce that starting next month, my daughter Elena will assume the position. Loud applause filled the hall. Maria, now my main executive assistant, had tears in her eyes. Your father must be very proud, she told me afterward. He is, I smiled. But not for inheriting the company, but for having earned it on my own merit. A few days later, while cleaning my old assistant desk, I found a photo. It was from my wedding day with Sebastian. Both of us smiling at the camera, young and apparently in love. Are you okay? My father asked, entering the office. Yes, I replied, putting the photo in a box. You know, for a long time I wondered if I had done the right thing by hiding my identity, by starting from the bottom. And now I know it was the best decision. It allowed me to see the true nature of people, including my own. My father smiled. Your mother would be very proud of you. I know, she always said that character is revealed in how you treat those who apparently cannot benefit you. That night, while driving home, I passed by the apartment where I had lived with Sebastian. There were new tenants now, new lives beginning where mine had ended. My phone rang. It was a message from Maria. Ready for tomorrow's meeting. The new internal promotion policy is causing a stir. I smiled. Life has a curious way of turning around. 2 years ago, it was me sending those messages to other executives. In my new home, I have a small reminder of this entire experience. It is my old executive assistant badge framed next to my university degree and my new position as CEO. When people ask me why I keep it, I tell them this story. I talk about a young woman who chose to start from the bottom, about a marriage that was destroyed by greed, and about how sometimes we need to lose something to gain something much more valuable: wisdom. Because in the end, true success is not measured by the titles we hold or the money we have, but by the integrity with which we live and the lives we touch along the way. And every morning when I enter my office and see the employees greeting me with genuine respect, not because of my surname but for who I am, I know that every moment of those 5 years was worth it. As the new motto of the company that I myself wrote says, the true value is not in the position you occupy but in how you occupy it. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.